All right. Oh, I thought I hit something weird. Okay, so today we are doing, in this tutorial, I lost my one that was completed. Oh, here we go. This mask, the one with the no pleats. So this is what we're learning today. It's got the bumped, beveled nose for the easy go at it. So the spacing's still the same, where you want it on your jawbone, over your nose, and around your chin. So this is the one we're going to do right now. I do have a pattern for 3 different sizes. I only have 2 right here in front of me. And then the elastic you need for each one, and I can post it. For the larger is 12, the next size is 10, and then the little ones, these little guys, aren't they so cute? These little tiny ones is 8 inches. Very patriotic here. So I do have the pattern for those. The biggest thing is when you cut it, to know that the bigger part is where your nose is, and this is your chin. So your pattern, you want to make sure is up and down and closer to the face. So I already kind of sewed this one. So like here you'll see I did my Jack Skellington on both sides, but the pattern or my picture is closer to the front, or if you have a pattern, make sure which up and down it is. When you do cut it, you need to have one facing on both sides for the front and one facing on both sides for the back. So that took me a second to make sure I was doing the same way. So if you lay fabric on top of itself, when you cut, I'll just find one right here. So when you have your fabric, if you fold it in half and then lay your material down and cut it, it will cut you one in both directions. So let's start sewing. So the first thing you're going to do is pair up so that way the same color pattern matches. They're going to kiss each other, lined up, and then I like doing pattern in the front and plain in the back. It's important to be able to tell the front and the back from each other. For this one you can, because the way the sewing's going to go. But 2 colors is always good, especially for the rectangle one, so that way if they set it down, they know which side their face was on and what side the air was exposed to. So all we're going to do for our first stitch is we are going to, let me go this way, sorry. I'll go a little out of the camera. There we go. We're going to stitch from chin to nose. I find that when I was stitching from nose to chin, that my sewing machine was eating the nose. So you're going to reinforce chin, go all the way up, reinforce nose, and then sew all the way off of your machine. So again, we're going chin to nose, and you do want to go rounded. You need that nice round. Don't go straight across. You need to follow the nice curve so that way you get that poof on your face. So we're going to start, back it up, and follow this curve. Reinforce the nose, and off. Perfect. And then the other one too. So again, I'm starting at the chin. Reinforcing. Following that nice curve, going to the nose, and shooting off. All right. So now what you're going to do, and I was already at this step, so I'm actually going to switch materials because I need to make this mask anyway for my friend. You're going to open up your mask, and you're going to have all the yucky sides face out. Okay, so there's my yucky side, and I can tell because my material is the nice side. But for the other one, you want to have its nice side, so not the seam, but they're a nice size into the nice side of the other one. And I find the more you can scrunch this little bugger up in here, the better fit when you're sewing, okay? So you really just want to shove it all the way up in there. I know it sounds funny, but you really want to get it in there really well. There we go. So I feel like I've got it in there really well. So what we're going to do is we are going to sew all the way around all the sides, leaving one ear space about a 2-inch gap in here, because we're going to have to pull that nice side out so we can see it. So do an ear side. It doesn't matter which ear, but because we're going to be sewing over the ears again, that's your best spot to leave it open to pull through. So again, I'm going to start right here at the bottom of my ear. I'm going to go all the way around, making sure to follow all these curves. It's very important to hang on to it. If you need to pin it, you can pin it if you feel more comfortable. It doesn't shift too bad as long as you've got it really nice deep inside there. And again, the two nice sides are on the inside, and my two yucky sewed edges are both on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom so I can leave that gap up here. Okay. So we're going to make nice rectangles. We don't want to
ring.
So I am going to
Ring.
all the way to the edge. Reinforce. And then I'm going to do needle down. And I'm going to turn it because I want it to be a nice rectangle. You really want it to be those nice sharp edges, not really an oval, because you're going to be sewing it to the inside. And you really want a rectangle. You really, really do. So we're going to go forward, reinforce that corner so that way we have a nice rectangle. There we go. And shoot all the way down. Follow those curves. You're going to see it's going to curve all kinds of fun ways right now. There we go. And we're going to overshoot that corner to make a rectangle. There we go. I'm going to do needle down, foot up. I'm a little off. There we go. Needle down, foot up, and shoot down. Reinforce that corner. Come all the way down. Reinforce that corner. Needle down, foot up. This is those curves you really want to make sure you're following. So reinforce that corner and just follow your curve. One thing I didn't say, so sorry, just now thought about it. When you're sewing, because you have these two really rough edges, let me push them back in here so I can show you. While I'm sewing, I am trying to push, my lighting is so terrible today, I'm sorry. I am trying to push one this way, and while I'm doing that, I'm pushing the other way. So that way, it's kind of more of a flat. See how it then becomes more flat? So I'm trying to get I'm going to call it a mohawk here. I'm going to try to get one mohawk to lay down one way while I'm sewing, and then I'm going to try to get the other mohawk to lay the other way. So that way, it's not too thick at any point, especially at that nose and chin spot. We don't want it overly thick. So I'm making sure it does that. If you get both on both sides, it's not a big ordeal, but just make sure that you don't do one way and this one the other way, because then you're going to have that awful crease in there, and the mohawk's not going to lay down. So whatever side you do, make sure it's the same on both sides, so that way that lays down. Because again, if not, if I do one way and the other, and look, it's going to be like a wave or a mohawk that will not lay down because I did it opposite corners. So you just want to make sure that whatever way it's laying, it's the same on that side. And if you could do it opposite, but on that side, okay? So I didn't make sure at all if they were going opposite each other. They were actually both faced that way, which is fine. I'm just going to make sure they're both still faced that way. So that way you don't get that weird crease in there, because it bubbles. It's really, really bad. So I'm going to use my fingers here and make sure the crease lays down flat. And of course it's going the opposite direction, so it's going to be a little difficult, but we got this. See, nice and easy. Go rounded with that curve and bring it on down. See, perfect. And then again, we're going to reinforce this corner. All the way up. There we go. And down, needle down, foot up. And we're going to leave that gap here. Don't forget to leave this gap because we need to pull it through. So go down, reinforce, and back out my thread. All right. So now we've gone all the way around, leaving ourselves a little gap. This is the last time we're going to see this side, so this is your chance to clean it up. Get rid of some of those corners that you may not have followed too well. The less material, the better. And you still want to snip all these little corners without cutting the thread. So the corners that you had left possibly, or where the threads didn't match up. Just the less material I find in here and all this extra stuff, the less bulky it will be and the better the fit. So get rid of those corners. We're going to clean up my little edge over here. And one more corner, get rid of. And then this tip of the nose, I'm going to get rid of some of that. Perfect. Make sure you don't cut any of your seams or and like that, because then obviously it will unravel on the inside, and they wash it once and it'll be all gone, and then they will be happy. All right, my mohawks aren't too bad. They're nice and low, and so then we're going to go in here and we're going to pull the inside of our mask out. And this is so much smaller than the other masks. The pulling through, I don't even know how my mom does the baby masks. Ugh. So we're going to pull it on through. We really want to push out all of those corners. We want to make sure we get our rectangle going over here that we worked so hard for a second ago. Push out all of those beautiful corners you made. There they are. If you have something that you want to stick in there to do it, you can, obviously. Some people have tools. Get your corner on the side you're going to be leaving open. Get all those little edges out. I'm missing an edge. There it is. Push it out. Perfect. Okay. So you're almost done. Oh, I thought I lost this Jack Skellington's head for a second. Did not. Okay, so we pushed out all of our corners really well. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little press. With that seam that we left open, see it's kind of poopy dooks, we're going to just tip it inside. And that's where we're definitely going to press. I don't have my iron, sorry. Ugh. All right. So my iron wasn't all the way hot yet, so I'm going to go ahead and use my fingers. Press this back down. I like getting all 4 of those corners too, because you are going to be sewing on those corners. Yes, sewing on those corners. You may not have had pleats, but you still got to sew on corners. So pressing down those corners, cutting those corners like we did with the scissors, all very useful for this next step. I'm going to go ahead and arrange this mask all cute so it is prepared. I'm going to press it down so it just looks nice. A little steam. Just easier to sew. All right, there she is. Sorry. Ugh. All right, so our last step is to make room for our elastic. So actually probably use the iron too. So we're gonna go ahead and do is you're only gonna fold it up just enough space to get elastic in. About a thumb. I like using my thumb as point of reference. And we're going to sew pretty close along this edge. You can feel where the pleat is. So you're going to be right on the pleat in action, or not pleat, but on the seam. You're going to go ahead and sew right on there because we're going to slide elastic through. So you want to make sure you leave yourself some room to get that elastic through, because if not, you will be unhappy trying to push the elastic through. So if you want to steam press it now, where your spot is, you can. Or you can just hold it with your finger and sew it, obviously, too. So if you want to do one side, do the other side. And this is where that seam that we left open will become closed. Okay. So we're just going to do a stitch down and stitch up. Super easy. I'm going to start a little bit away from that knot and then come all the way back up to it. Forward, lock it in, all the way over, down, reinforce that little bulb, those corners. Looks great. And then do the other side. Down and up. Down and up. Reinforce. Okay? So there is that. You're going to trim off all of these little strings. I got extra ones on here that just brought over onto it on accident. Trimming, trimming, trimming. All right. So this is the 10-inch elastic one. And of course I don't have elastic sitting right here. How could I not? I'm not sure. Let me get some elastic so I can show you tricks of the trade here. Sorry, bear with me. I did not prepare that correctly. 1 second, 1 second. Sorry, blank screen. Okay, sorry about that. So this is the 12-inch elastic one, the largest of them. So 12 inches sounds a lot compared to the other masks, but because this one goes all the way around the mask and all the way around the ear, a full circle, versus the other mask only goes around the outside, like a C. This one is a full circle. So 12 inches is what we're doing. So there's two ways you can get the material through. My mom has a great sneak attack way of using needle scissors, or not scissors, needle, I don't know what they are. So you just kind of wiggle it in there. There we go. And you're going to open it up a little bit. Sorry, there we go. This one's bigger than the ones I've been doing. Open it up a little bit, grab it, and pull the elastic through. Or, of course, I'm not going to have a safety pin here either. Shoot, sorry. Or you can put a safety pin onto the elastic and then scoot the safety pin all the way up and through if you don't have needle nose. I don't have a safety pin right now. And scoot that safety pin all the way up. Then at this end, you're just going to make sure there's no twists, kinks, or knots. And you're going to put those two ends as close together as possible. I just tie it around my finger, hoop it through, pull it tight, nice and tight. And then I move the material into the mask, or the knot into the mask, maybe. That side's a little tighter than that. I'll go the other way. For some reason that side didn't like me very much. So I move the knot into the mask, or you can leave it out and then they could be adjusted as well. I'm going to do the other side too so you can see the fit when I am completed. Oh, this side likes me way better. So stick it in, pull it through. Make sure there's no creases or turns or knots, because that would be really irritating on your ear. You're going to tie it to the farthest tip. I don't leave too much space, but I do it really tight. And then you have your completed mask. Again, those are where the prints are. Super cute. My friend's going to love it. So that is how you do that style mask. Enjoy.